Hey everybody,
I'm Colbie Caillat.
it is Chandler Walters.
And you're listening to Like a Farmer.
Hey y'all, it's Pat. Welcome to an exclusive interview this week. We're going to be talking about Tortuga Music Festival coming up soon. We've got a couple of the artists that are performing at Tortuga that will be on the show right now. Starting off, we're going to have Colbie Caillat. She's joining us. And then after, we're going to have Chandler Walters. We're talking Tortuga with Colbie. Everybody should know who Colbie Caillat is with her hit Bubbly. We're going to be talking about how that song transformed really her life and brought her to a place which is now in the country music scene, and how that transitions happened of being at the top of a genre, being pop, rock, whatever you want to call that hit song Bubbly, but now being in country music. She moved to Nashville over 10 years ago now, and the times that she has had in the great city of Nashville is a really cool story. So we are going to start with Colbie Caillat. Let's get into it. Colbie Caillat joins the show. Colbie, I'm so excited for this, number one.
You are? Thank you. I am too.
Number two, so we talked a little bit offline. These virtual interviews I hate. So at some point we're going to be in the studio doing a legitimate interview, because I just think the path that you have gone in and now just making a reckoning in country music is just unbelievable. But who hasn't? Like when they're driving down the road, especially in their pickup truck, playing that song Bubbly. I mean,
yeah,
just iconic. Can we start? I'm going to go a little bit in left field if you don't mind. We're obviously going to talk about Tortuga coming up, but
yeah.
Bubbly. When you do that song and it just has the traction that it has, like, how does that even feel? That's got to just be the best feeling out there.
It was wild. You know, I didn't even expect any of it to happen. I wrote it when I was 20. One of my friends from high school put the demo up on MySpace, and then it took off, and then I got a record deal the next, months later, and I went on tour with the Goo Goo Dolls that next summer. And it was just like this whirlwind, and I wasn't prepared for it or anything. But I was so when something that amazing happens to you, you have to just go with it and figure it out as you go. So that's kind of what I did, but it was surreal. And what made me the happiest was that fans chose the song. Like, it wasn't a record label choosing it. It was people, finding it on their own, and it made it so special for me.
Shout out MySpace, huh?
Absolutely.
MySpace to going on tour with the Goo Goo Dolls. I mean, that right there is a transition. I think you're probably the first guest. You're from Malibu. Are you in Malibu currently?
I'm in Thousand Oaks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
it's close to Malibu.
Just beautiful.
Yeah. I'm at my mom's house. It's a really pretty, beautiful yard. But yeah, I'm close to Malibu.
So the great thing about that is this travel that you're going to be making to come down to Tortuga. I mean, it's not that you got some palm trees in the background, the sun's out, beautiful weather. Like, is this going to be your first time playing Tortuga? How excited are you about that?
I'm so excited. And actually my friends and I, we want to go the whole weekend. So I'm going to go early, and I'm going to stay the whole time. I want to see Kenny play on Sunday, and we're just going to have a blast. So yes, it's my first time playing it and first time getting to go experience it.
Kenny Chesney on the beach. I mean, I don't think it gets better than that.
It doesn't get better than that.
What you've got? So we have, is it Post Malone on Friday, Riley Green on Saturday, and then Kenny Chesney on Sunday? Is that the headline schedule right there?
That is. You're correct.
I mean, you've got to go early then.
I love Post Malone too, so I have to. Yeah.
Where does when you think about music, and I definitely want to get into this transition that you've had getting into the country scene, which I just think is incredible. But where does this passion for music come from? It seemed like your father had some music, in his blood back in the day. It seemed like maybe there's a little bit of Fleetwood Mac tie with your father. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. My dad was one of the producers on Fleetwood Mac's Rumors album and Tusk, and he was a music producer. He had a record label. So my parents, they were in the industry, and they knew that I loved singing, and they were like, if you want to sing, you should learn how to play an instrument. You should write songs, and so they gave me those tools, and then the way that MySpace happened was just something completely on its own. But I was grateful that I had the influence of my parents, who had, like, my my dad found me my manager and, taught me how to record in the studio. So I had all of that help at the beginning.
When you think about pop, in my opinion, it's kind of what you were doing in the beginning and now getting more into this country scene. What was the reason behind making that switch?
Transition? Yeah. Well, so I didn't grow up listening to country music at all. I really wasn't a fan of it, honestly. And then I moved to Nashville 10 years ago. I started going like 15 years ago, and I would write with friends, and I started living more of that lifestyle, and it just kind of became something that grew on me, and now I love it. Now it's like one of the main things that I listen to. And I think, growing up in California and Hawaiian music has the steel guitar, and that's where it came from. And so that was something I always had a nostalgic sound to it. And then when I was in Nashville, I was like, oh, that's the same instrument. And can I have that on my music just because I'm not country? And it really it's fun to be able to play with instrumentation and production. And I love country songwriting as well. So it was just a natural progression over all the years.
I appreciate that you mentioned the word lifestyle, Colbie, and this is one of the few reasons that we started this show is this lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I call it the rural America lifestyle. Really just came, and it was probably the last 6 or 7 years of everybody wanting to get outside. Everybody wants to listen to country music. Everybody wants to drive a pickup truck and go to festivals and just kind of enjoy what I'm calling the rural America lifestyle. Why do you think it's gotten so popular? Because look, there's a lot of people even getting into country music that were never in it either. So it's not like you have been one of the first, but it's just cool to see everybody kind of getting into not just the music side of it, but the lifestyle.
Yeah, and I do think it's both. I love classic country music now. Like the more I've been able to hear, but like I love two-stepping. I like line dancing. Like it's so much fun. And not only are the lyrics just like so, they just really like touch your heart. They're so relatable. But the country production is just beautiful, and that's actually how I play my shows now. I have a steel guitar dobro player. It's just my favorite way of performing, and I feel like once people catch on to something, it spreads like wildfire, and country music really is like, it's just so beautiful. So I think that it just took some people a little bit of time for it to cross over into that mainstream world.
Is there any way I can find video of you two-stepping, Colbie? I mean, that might be the...
I did a little bit in a little video I did for a song called Pretend that I have, but it's not good. Like I was dating a guy for a while, and we would go two-stepping all the time. It was so much fun, but I don't think I have like posted any of it. I should though. I should do it more.
I'm saying. I mean, maybe we can catch it like on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night. I would say, and I'm curious your take, you've been in the town for 10 years, like Skinny Dennis would be a good place to go two-stepping.
I love the Skinny Dennis. I've only been there to play pool and like have drinks with friends, but I would always go to the Palace. That's where I had friends that would go there, and I would get invited, and that's where I would do most of my two-stepping, or just in the living room, at home.
That's what we're doing next time I'm in town. Skinny Dennis, pool.
Please, let's go. I love that place.
I do too. It's a great bar. I think it's one of the most underrated ones. When you think about being in that town for 10 years, and as you know, everybody calls it a 10-year town. I think it's cool that now you're kind of been there for 10 years.
Yeah.
But what made you make that move from, California to Nashville just in general? Was it solely for music?
It was a combination. So I had only lived in California, and I really wanted to try living somewhere different. I had friends in Nashville, and I would go visit all the time. I would go right there. And my fiance and I at the time, and my best friend and her husband and my manager, we were all like, we were just like going and looking at houses there. And then we all did the move, the same year. So it was helpful to already have friends there, have people coming with me, and I could do music. Like if I was going to live somewhere different, I wanted to be able to have friends and also be able to work there at the same time.
Totally agree. And that is a town that even when you think about 10 years has changed a lot. I mean, hell, you went through a pandemic in Nashville, Tennessee. Like, what are you doing in Nashville during COVID?
I have to tell you, it was a really, you have to find beauty in everything. And for a lot of us who are touring musicians, you get used to people not being in town at the same time, and you rarely get to hang out with friends. And sorry, it's getting windy if it's hard to hear.
I love it.
But we all got to be there at the same time, and we really like established these wonderful friendships and these bonds, and we had these get-togethers at our houses, and we'd just play music and write songs, and it was a really special time, actually, that a time I'm so grateful for, that what we did with our time.
I mean, if I was going to pick a place to spend the pandemic in, I mean, Nashville's got to be up there.
It was great. It was wild because most places didn't shut down. Like Broadway was still in full effect. But again, like getting to build that community. Nashville is such a great community, and we'd go to like the Preds games still, and we'd go to concerts still, and it's just a time that I look back and really cherish, actually.
Have you ever just randomly popped up at a Broadway bar and played any music?
I'm trying to think of like a Broadway bar, but with friends playing in town all the time in Nashville, there's always shows going on. So I'd say like a handful of times a year I'll get asked like day of or night before to come and sing a song at someone's show, and so I'll do that often, which is so much fun because I'm from outside of LA, and so I wasn't used to that. Everything's a long drive, or it's just not that kind of vibe. And Nashville, again, it's a community. It's a group of friends who have music in common, and to be able to just hop up at a club or at a bar and sing a song and then stay and enjoy the time with everyone, it's really cool.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine. And then, to get back to Tortuga, number one, like you mentioned your California connections, your Hawaii connections, like you're going to Tortuga coming up. The foundation they support, Rock the Ocean, the health, these guys and girls are putting in money and tons of dollars for the health of the ocean. So that's right up your alley, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But just to play that type of festival, you got to be excited for that.
I'm so excited. I mean, to hear that they do that, that's so important. When something so big can give back and help. And honestly, like, to have so many friends that are playing the festival, to be able to go watch artists I love, watch friends that I know, and be in a beautiful place. And what's so great about festivals? It brings everyone together.
Totally agree.
That's like as a performer or even as an audience member, it's just a really good time.
Totally agree with that. Now, do you have any? You've done so much. In the short amount of time, in my opinion, like when you think about goals that you're looking forward to, especially in the music, like what are some things? I'm sure Tortuga's a checkoff for you, but what are some things that you're looking forward to that you're like, I need to make sure I do that?
Ooh, that's a good question. I was able to make a duet record last year, and I've over my career I've done a lot of duets, and I have more coming out this year as well. And I feel like that's something that I've always loved. I love collaborating. I love when I get to work with an artist that I respect their writing or their artistry or their voices. So to be able to have that opportunity with people I'm fans of, that is something that I'm grateful for. And honestly, to be able to keep touring and playing for my audience and new audiences.
Do you have any like dream tours that you'd love to be on one day?
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Yeah. I
saw one the other day. Like, I think it might have been Kane Brown. Kane Brown says if Florida Georgia Line gets back together, like I want to be on that tour.
Oh, that's a good tour. That would be a fun tour. I love both of them. Honestly, I have so many. It's hard to say because I would like to play with, an artist that's more my genre, because I feel like the audience, it just blends well together. But it's also fun to be able to play with someone that's completely different style and branch out to new fans. I
totally agree. And like we talked about earlier, you've been in a few different genres now in music, which I think is cool. And sometimes, and I don't even like country music is evolving as rock and roll evolved, R&B and hip hop evolved. So it's not like it's just you got to stick to one genre. But I do a segment on this show, Colby, called the Mount Rushmore. And
Okay.
you and your experience in music, like who would you put on your Mount Rushmore of music? And it can be any genre.
Oh gosh, you got to prepare me with this kind of thing. Okay. Oh gosh. Any genre? I
Mount
mean,
Rushmore. You get four.
my top. Okay, this is tough. Bob Marley, Post Malone, Fleetwood Mac, Lauryn Hill.
Oh,
I also want to put
oh.
Morgan Wallen on there because I love every song on every album. Like he's so good. So.
I'm actually with you. I mean, so we added 5.
I'm sorry. We'll have to choose. We'll have to swap one out at some point. But
okay, that's fine. And I'm with you on that. I mean, it's every song that guy puts out is just a hit. But also, and I think you'll appreciate this too, is the storytelling aspect, especially in country music, is my favorite part about the genre.
Yeah.
And I think there's a select few that kind of separate themselves when it comes to their music just solely off of the storytelling.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think as much as I love Lauryn Hill because of her voice, I think Morgan's going to have to go up there. I think he's going to have to take the spot.
So Bob, Fleetwood, Post, and Morgan. Is
that good?
That is a Mount Rushmore right there. It really is. What do you have coming down the hopper after Tortuga, obviously? Any new music, new album, new tour that we can talk about?
I have a couple duets coming out this year that I can't talk about as of yet.
Yep.
And yeah, I have some shows. I don't have a tour planned right now, but I have some scattered shows here and there. And I'm really just I'm taking this year to kind of reevaluate everything. The last couple years I was really busy with stuff and I wanted to take a breather and actually start enjoying life a little bit more and taking time to visit family and explore new places. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. And I know creativity will come after I do that.
I was just about to say, I'm assuming, number one, you're kind of knocking off, a couple birds with one shot there because you get to go visit friends and family, but you're also building some creativity in your mind. Are you doing a lot of your story or a lot of your songwriting, Colby?
Oh yeah, I do all of it. Yeah. I mean, I write with people as well, but, I think it's something that, as I said, my parents taught me early on. And what I love about writing is it's so therapeutic for the writer. And then when your audience connects to the songs, it's that much more special to know that your song helped someone through, a loss or a heartbreak or falling in love. So that's something that I will always want to keep doing.
What have been some of your favorite places that you have visited that have really given you that creative mind for your songs?
I've written couple of my favorite songs I wrote when I was on tour in Germany, and it was rainy, and those kinds of days really make you sit home and play the guitar, play the piano, and I think that melancholy feelings, emotions can bring in the best songs. I have also written a lot of songs in Hawaii and California when your spirit's just so happy. So I would say the I guess juxtaposition of both of those.
I have a feeling, you're coming on to being at the beach at Tortuga. I mean, I feel like a beach vibe is kind of where you like to be, especially when the music starts flowing and the creativity starts flowing. Maybe a new Colby song comes from Tortuga coming up.
Maybe it will. I want to do a cover, I might do a reggae cover. Do you have one you suggest for that show?
Oh. What about Three Little Birds?
That's a great one.
What are some of your favorite covers that you've done?
Currently, I do Post Malone Circles. I do Simon and Garfunkel Cecilia. And I do Neon Moon by Brooks and Dunn. Those are the ones. I've done the Jackson 5. I've done Fleetwood Mac before. I've done Bob Marley, Lauryn Hill, Turn Your Lights Down Low, but they haven't been in the mix for a while.
I would love to see a little Bob Marley cover at Tortuga. That would be
Okay.
That would be a good one. And I think it goes with the vibe too. I mean, I think the people there's something to be said about what you mentioned earlier, these festivals. I'm biased towards Tortuga. Wow, that was a lot.
It's a tongue twister.
Because of it being right down the road. But that is a place that, number one, because it's on the beach. Number two, because it's in Florida. But number three, it's just the roster that they have. And that is a place that everybody comes together. And I think when it comes to your music, past, current, that is a place where a lot of fans are going to be. Yeah.
You know, it's funny at festivals too, because my own shows, it's mostly women, I'll say, like, that come to my shows. And at festivals, when there's dudes in the audience, they're singing to my songs. They just, I'm like, oh, you know it? Like, it's always a nice little reminder. So
let me tell you something, Colbie. Bubbly is on every man's playlist in America, okay? And outside of America at that. Bubbly, Bubbly's not on your playlist. You're lying to yourself.
That's great. I love to hear that.
I really appreciate you coming on today, seriously.
Thank you. You were really fun to chat with. I hope I get to see you that weekend. You're going to be there the whole time, or?
So believe it or not, I'm actually, I'm opening a new restaurant that weekend, that Friday.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
But not too far away. So we're gonna make an appearance maybe throughout the weekend. I'm kind of with you. It's one of those things where, because what day do you play?
Saturday.
That's a great day. I mean, Riley ending that night will be awesome. But Saturday would be the day, and then most likely Sunday. Friday, we open the restaurant that I'd like to get down there Saturday morning because, like you mentioned earlier, I mean, Kenny Chesney on the beach. I don't know any other duo that beats that. No, it's going to be so incredible. Well, hey, that's awesome that you're opening a restaurant. Congratulations. That's a big deal. Thank you so much. It's a chicken wing restaurant called Wing Nuts, actually. I love wings. Do you really? Do. They were the first thing. I was vegetarian for like 10 years. And during the pandemic, that was the first thing that took me back to eating meat again. Hell yeah. Yes. Are you a drum? Are you a flat? I'm either, but I like dry rub. Like, I don't like them like doused in sauce or anything like that. I'm the same way. And they make fun of me when I go up to Buffalo because it's a very saucy town, Buffalo is. But I'm more of a dry rub, like a little lemon pepper maybe. Same. Well, I got to go try your restaurant while I'm out there. Love it. All right. Colbie Caillat, everybody, thank you so much and good luck in the future. I'm telling you, you're kicking ass already. What you've done, it's like this is like your second coming because what you did in the past on some of your music was iconic. And what you're doing now is just you're writing that next chapter. I'm so pumped for you. And Skinny Dennis, when we meet up, is going to be unbelievable. I will see you there for some two-stepping and some pool. There you go. Colbie Caillat, everybody. Thank you. You're awesome. Hey, y'all, it's Pat, and I'm excited to welcome Ducks Unlimited to the Like a Farmer podcast. Your hunt starts with healthy wetlands and associated habitats. From the Alaskan wilderness to the Atlantic flyway, across America's Great Plains and down the Mississippi Delta, Ducks Unlimited has been protecting and restoring habitats for nearly 90 years. But their work is far from over. They need our help to reach the next million-acre milestone and ensure waterfowl for generations to come. DU volunteers and supporters have led the charge to fill the skies with waterfowl today, tomorrow, and forever. Why don't you come join the team that's making a real difference? Ducks Unlimited is powered by people like you. With your help, they can continue to raise funds that drive wetlands conservation across the whole continent. Whether you are out selling tickets, securing donations, or finding that next sponsor, they have a role for everyone. If you want to join today, visit www.ducks.org/volunteer. Ducks Unlimited, conservation for a continent. Now, let's get into Chandler Walters, where we're going to talk about some cool moments recently he's had with Bailey Zimmerman, as well as going on tour soon with Bailey. His mentors in music, whether that be Post Malone or ERNEST, and of course the pipeline that we've seemed to have a lot on this show, the Georgia to Nashville pipeline. We're going to be talking about growing up in the great state of Georgia. Let's get into it with now Chandler Walters. Tortuga's coming up. Is this going to be your first time playing Tortuga?
So this will actually be as Chandler Walters. Yes, this is my first time. My second time playing because when I was with Ernest playing steel back in the day, we played the same stage next from Nashville. I'm very excited to return. I love country music and I love the beach. And
I mean, how about that duo? You come to the Sunshine State, you get to be on the beach, and you get to play country music. Like, that's going to be cool. And that's an interesting part. And excuse me for not even knowing that. I mean, think about climbing the ladder and now getting to be able to play on your own. That's got to be a really cool feeling coming up.
It is, man. It's all been so many. There's been so many full circle moments. I was touring with Post, playing with Post for a while, and we did our first tour together. And then we did the big ass stadium tour, and we were hanging out at Losers one night, and I was like, "Yo, like, could I just open for you on this tour?" Like, Cole just asked him, and he was like, "Yeah." And then, we went playing stadiums all over the country, but stadiums I've been playing before because I was, with Ernest when we were opening for Morgan Wallen. And it's like so many of these experiences I have is having them again, but me and my band get to play. It's freaking sick, dude.
Dude, so you mean to tell me you're sitting at Losers one night, which shout out Steven Losers. Any business deals that need to happen in Nashville happen at, Losers. And God rest his soul, obviously, Big Irv, man. That was a great mentor of mine. But you mean to tell me at Losers you asked Post if you could open for him, and he was just like, yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, we were sitting having beers one night, and, he was like, yeah, of course you can. I was like, cool.
Are you sure you're going to remember this, all right?
Yeah, right. You're going to remember. All right, you're going to remember this, right?
You've got some of those moments that have happened even recently. Can you just give me the rundown on what just happened not too long ago on the Bailey Zimmerman? I mean, I'm living vicariously through your social media, and apparently you were just there writing songs, maybe just hanging backstage, and he's like, hey, you want to come and play a song? Is that kind of how it went down?
Yeah, pretty much, dude. We were in Canada. I've been in Canada for like the past month on the Josh Ross tour, which was awesome. We crushed it out there. And on the way back, flying home, and Bailey texted me like, "Yo, you want to come out this weekend?" And I thought I was gonna have a weekend at home, and I was like, I do want to come out this weekend. And yeah, so that's why you say yes. You say yes to things.
You always say yes. I would agree with that.
Bailey's a great friend of mine. We hang out and not work. We hang out and do work all the time. But we were out there. He asked me, and I was just going out to write. And he was like, "You want to sing our song together?" And I was like, "Well, of course, dude." He was like, "I don't know if you wanted to be on the artist mode this week." And I was like, "Dude, come on, let's go. Bring me out. Put me in, coach."
I'm always down. On that side, Chandler, do you have anybody right now? And I'm excited to talk about. Obviously, you're in an earnest relationship. Seems to be awesome. You're doing a lot of work with him with Post. Yeah. And then the Bailey stuff, and then the Josh Ross. Like, who right now are mentors in the game that you're kind of talking to on a daily basis, looking up to? Like, is there anybody that's really helped out a lot?
Man, yeah, Ernest is definitely a big mentor of mine. He brought me, kind of in this world. Like, I was 18 years old, and I just posted a video of me playing steel guitar on TikTok, and then I started playing. I was 18, and I'm sitting here and I'm 23, and like I said, full circle moment. We're playing the House of Blues Boston tonight. We're sitting outside the venue, but like, Ernest is a big mentor. Man, dude, Steve Ford. We talk a lot, man. At Losers, that's one of my guys. Yep. I love him so much. And then I try to write with people that are older than me a lot. Clint Daniels, and it's so bad to hear the passing of Ronnie Bowman, but Ronnie was a big influence in my life. He and I were like really close. But yeah, dude, those are kind of the people that really, they believe in me and they make me feel like I can do it.
You mentioned on the Finding of You by Ernest, which is on TikTok. And keep in mind, you're from Georgia, and that pipeline from Georgia to Nashville is just like, you and I can go on and just name the people that have come from that state. Now, keep in mind, I'm a Florida fan. I'm from Florida, so I hope that doesn't, deter mine in your relationship.
Okay. That is all right, man.
Okay. But how does it go about you growing up there and being there, and then now having to pretty instantly, when you think about a tool, I call it a tool like TikTok, that somebody happens to see you, and now it's like, okay, now we got to haul ass because somebody found me and we got to make the move. Is that kind of how it went down?
I just moved to Nashville. Actually, I literally just moved. I was 18. I just graduated high school. When everybody went to college that August or July, I went and moved to Nashville with a couple other buddies from Georgia. One of the guys who's in Highway Home, Eamon Owen, like we lived together for a while. But yeah, that was, that's kind of how that started. Yeah, freaking it is. You just go up 75 and then you're in Nashville. But Ernest found me because I just put one video out and it blew up overnight. And all of a sudden, I'm just watching my phone go nuts. And Ernest was like, "Where you at?" And I was like, "Anywhere you need me to be." And I was hanging out with him next week. And by January of 2022, I was on the bus with him.
That's unbelievable. And now you're sitting outside House of Blues in Boston's fantastic. Congrats on that. If I would have known that, I probably would have just met you up there.
Dang, bro, that would have been sick. Still time.
That's good. What have been some kind of pinch me moments so far when you think about how quickly, and you get it, you know it. It's not like Nashville's a overnight town. I mean, that whole saying of a 10-year town, and that's really even being conservative for most people. It doesn't, sure. Success doesn't happen as much so quickly like it seems like it's been having with you. Like, what have been some other moments that you're like, you know what, hell yeah, I made the right decision to really forego college and go to Nashville and just play music?
Yeah, I think definitely, Ernest finding me so young was like a big inspiration of saying, I can probably do this. And when he called me up to play, like, I didn't know how to play the steel guitar that well. I just knew how to play that one song. And he sent me his record, which is full of Paul Franklin steel licks, which is like the hardest steel guitar possible. I learned that whole record in 1 month. That was, getting to tour that and just having fun on stage while playing like really difficult things made me feel empowered. And writing songs, like I kind of shaped writing with Ern. Like he kind of led me into that world, and he threw me into Big Loud, into his room. He was like just set up in my office, and so I did, and I was able to run my rights out of there. So I did that for, my deal is I'm coming up on the end of my first deal soon. So 4 years ago, that's when I started writing. Obviously, like there's been crazy moments along the way. Like I remember first meeting Jelly Roll, with Ern, and I sat on the bus and while Ern and Jelly just freestyled circles around each other, man. It was like, hanging out with just, people that you look up to. We did the Morgan tour. We did stadiums all over the freaking country, baseball stadiums and football stadiums. Those were all pinch me moments. The fact that I've now circled back to those stadiums, for the second and third time on some of them. It's like, whoa. It just means something more every time I go back. It's like, we're still doing this, we are still succeeding, and life is good, and we're very blessed.
I would like to say, because you mentioned it, and it's really important to, in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like being able to all around do this genre, whether it's playing, whether it's singing, whether it's writing. You have been very successful, especially on the writing side. Like, how has that transition been on going from a writer to now a singer and then having to keep up doing both?
Yeah, man. It's such a big blessing because it's getting me almost, more opportunities, I think, to sing. Because, like, we brought up the Bailey story last week, and, I was just hanging out backstage, and he's like, well, you want to come sing our song? Well, not only do I get to sing our song together on stage, and you get, have that cool moment, but when we're off stage, we're writing for his next record. It's like that's a hat I can easily switch. I always want to write songs. I think writing songs is a never-ending puzzle that I just love to put another piece on. I love writing, so and when I talk about like writing for my music, which I know is like very traditional, like it's you kind of have to try to be writing that to write, if that makes sense. Like it's like I would have to try and write a Bailey Zimmerman song, something in in his world, or something. I'd try to write a song that would fit in post world. It's just fun to just be that guy, and and write many different types of music because I love music.
And you're associating yourself with one of the better songwriters right now, and probably going to go down of all time in Earn, man. Seriously, just what he has done in songwriting alone is really special. Where do you personally get that creative side from, though? Like, is it growing up? Is it doing life right now? Is it a mixture of everything? Because you have to have that creativity side of the brain to be able to write songs at that caliber.
Sure. Yeah, that's great. That's a great question. I think a lot of it comes from living, like, it might sound cliche, but like living life, bro. And you gotta talk about real, like what's actually going on in your life. You have to like it. I think songwriting is a form of therapy for me in ways that, dude, I can write how I feel. If I can't say it, I can definitely make you feel it with my guitar chords and with my words. It's like melodies. I pull just, and also life right now. Like, it's so crazy the things that I'm surrounded by and the people that I'm with and how much it's changed since I grew up just in Marietta, Georgia. Like, I'm sitting right next to Fenway Stadium right now, and I played that stadium 6 times, and like, I just use the inspiration of like, man, let's just keep this ball rolling. It feels like a ball that's just never going to stop, and I'm always trying to keep up with it. I'm trying to be a better musician every day. I'm trying to be a better person, and I'm trying to be a better writer every day. And I think just what keeps me going and what keeps me loving it is you can always be better than you were yesterday.
Hell yeah. Need to put that on a hoodie right there.
That's right. You can always be better than you were yesterday. I love that.
What have been some of the tours? Actually, what's been the best? I'm going to challenge you right here because you've been on some monsters and you're going to continue to go on some monsters, which I'm excited to talk about here in a little bit. Of like, so far, the best tour you've been on, like which one's just been like iconic?
Man, the last summer of the Big Ass Stadium tour was just so iconic, dude.
I can only imagine.
Me, Jelly Roll, Sierra Farrell, and White Flores, they would switch off it and then post. Like, me playing twice a day was freaking iconic. And dude, most times I played 3 times a day because I did an after show at like whatever honky tonk or whatever bar was close. So like my day, I would sleep until noon or 1 p.m. and then I would wake up and we'd have sound check at 3. I would play my first set at 5:30 or like 6 p.m. Then I would play again at 9, and then I would probably play again at 1 a.m. to 3 a.m.
That is unbelievable.
Iconic. Man, like, what was that first tour we did with Ernest? We did like the Chris Lane tour. That was just so fun. That was my first time being on the road and experiencing backstage and like how to navigate yourself and act, on the road. It was a very big learning experience. We did the Morgan tour. What was that big tour? Kylie, what was the big tour? The Dangerous tour. Yeah, we did that tour. That was wild.
I mean, you've done like all of them. It's hard to choose. I get it.
It's hard to choose, man. There's been several iconic moments where that I remember. It's like pinch me. I remember playing Ohio State Stadium, and it was sold out, and I was like, pinch me, dude. It was wild. There's been just so many moments that I'm so thankful that I was there for.
What are you doing outside of music right now, Chandler, when it comes to writing, singing, performing, everything? Like, what's your... I mean, I see the troubadour hat on. Don't come in here and flex on me like that. I mean, I do see the troubadour hat, so I'm assuming golf is up there. But is that kind of like, what are some other things that you're like, dude, I got to get away from music for at least a couple hours, and this is what I'm doing?
Yeah, I've been going. Ernest was so nice to have shown me St. Thomas down in the Virgin Islands, and that has been my other home. I think I went like 8 times last year. I just got to get down there sometimes and get in the water, and I love to fish. We catch tuna out there, and then I make sushi. I love cutting up the fish and just doing it all myself. I love fishing. I love golfing, and I love surfing, going to the beach.
If you ever see me disappear, Like, where did Pat go? Not St. Thomas, but there's an island called St. John right next to St. Thomas.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's a bar called Woody's.
Okay.
You just walk in there, and you'll see me sitting on a bar stool, all right? Don't tell anybody. But that's where I'm going to be.
Is it in, like, Cruz Bay right there?
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Right, okay, I got to go. I'm going down in April. I'll have to stop in.
What we do a segment on this show, okay? It's called the Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
They don't have to be with us today of all time. I need your Mount Rushmore of country musicians.
Cool. Hell yeah. I feel like I've been waiting on this question. I'm going to have to. How many people are on there? 4 or 5?
4. It's a common question on the show. How many people are on Mount Rushmore? So it's okay. There's 4 of them.
Thank you. Yes, I've never been. I have to say George Strait.
Got to.
I'm gonna have to say Merle Haggard. I will have to say Willie Nelson. I'm going to pick. Oh man, I'm gonna pick Jimmy Buffett, bro. He's such a. Oh yeah, that's my 4, bro. That's my 4.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man, that's my shit.
Jimmy's on mine too. I mean, that is a slam dunk. You're the first person that's put Jimmy on there. Thank you for that.
Really? Dude, I'm just so deep in his music right now. Oh my God, I love it.
Well, it's one of those things too, and you can kind of see Ern doing a little bit of it as well. And it goes back to what we just talked about of having that creative mind just by living life. And for you specifically, it's a lot of water, a lot of fishing, a lot of golfing, a lot of traveling, and you're going to have that creative mind come to it. And when you think about all of those stuff, I mean, that was Jimmy, right? It's like, dude, let's go on the boat and get a cheeseburger and have some margaritas.
Dude, that song Boat Drinks, it's a song about him in like the cold weather, and we listened to this song all to my band and I, Boat Drinks, because especially while we were in Canada where it was so cold, it's about having a drink where it's warm. I just love that. I love that, man. It's like,
that's why I live here.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, I love Jimmy Buffett, man. But Merle Haggard is a big influence of mine with songwriting and like the language that he uses when he writes. It's so like, you just know what he's talking about. It's kind of like, just blatant, but it's like there's so much meaning in songs. And George Strait with
he's a king.
The king.
I mean, yeah. You get shunned if you leave him off of that, probably.
Of course. His early stuff is kind of what shaped, like, a lot of my music that I've released so far. It's like I'm trying to bring that energy.
I think it's interesting where you sit today of still being young and still being, relatively new to the game, even though you've gotten to do all these cool experiences. There's a couple things that have come into the genre that have changed the landscape of not only finding talent, but promoting talent, and that's being social media. Like, what are your thoughts on the social media day and age of the TikToks and the Instagrams and just getting your music out there using those tools?
Yeah, man. I mean, I do have it all to thank. Like, I'm so thankful for it because obviously it started me with ERNEST. Like, I wouldn't be with Ern, if it wasn't for TikTok. I hate that that's really what it is, but it is what it is. Nowadays, you just gotta be on there. I find it fun sometimes. I just I haven't found it yet, but I'm gonna figure out the right way and the right angle to do my music on there without it being the cookie cutter way of like, here's my face, here's some words on the screen, here's my song in the background type videos.
Yeah. So you're trying to get like your TikTok game up is what you're telling me.
That's right.
Okay.
You're right. Of course.
Well, maybe we can help you,
Yesterday, man. Trying to be better than I was yesterday.
I'm in the same boat. I can't. There's no way. Actually, this is new, so you'll be the first one that I tell. I flew back immediately after the Florida Georgia Line reunion the other day, and I got Tyler Hubbard on the show, right? So we do like a little TikTok thing of me and Tyler's in front, and Tyler's walking, and then I'm walking behind Tyler acting like, hey, we're back. The reunion is happening. And it just blows up. I want to say right now it's got over 3 million views on TikTok, and they don't classify me as Brian Kelly. You know what my nickname is right now, Chandler, on TikTok, on that social media? Is Brian Belly.
Bro.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude.
Brian Kellogg was one of them. Florida 8 Georgia was one of them.
Florida 8 Georgia.
Yeah, it looks like Brian's been at the bar was another comment. So yeah, the internet's ruthless, but it's a tool. So we can maybe figure out how to help you out.
Who's bar shaming you, dude?
I know, exactly. Like, yeah, I have been at the bar,
dude. I was.
Yeah. And I want to see you there.
And I was drinking doubles, dude.
Yeah. What do you have right now, Chandler, when you think about being goal-oriented and like, hey, I've done this, but this is what's coming up, or this is what I need to be coming up? I mean, I know I want to say you're going on the road with Bailey soon. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're doing a Europe run.
Okay, so that's huge. Like, what other stuff that are you looking forward to and that you're trying to add to your resume?
Yeah, dude, I'm excited to put out more music and, kind of curate my next little record and project. That's, I'm really excited to put out more music. I'm very excited to keep playing festivals. I have a lot of fun festivals that we're doing this year that, I've played before, but just, like sitting behind a steel guitar, which, dude, it's all full circle. I'm excited to, level up my touring, to get a bus one day and to, open for dream acts. I'm opening up for Tracy Lawrence in a few weeks, and that's like unbelievable. And, I'm very thankful for things like that. Yeah, man, I'm excited to just keep doing what we're doing and letting the good things happen and nurturing the good things.
I think it's one of those things where you speak for itself when you think about the product that's on the stage, but you've surrounded yourself with great people, man. I mean, obviously, we've dealt with Jesse and Kylie, so you've got the Greenhouse, you've got the Big Loud. I mean, those two right there are powerhouses, and to be able to surround yourself with those types of people, especially being at the age and being at the tenure that you're at in the genre itself, it's just like that, in my opinion, is one of the most important things, is surrounding yourself with the right people for success. And you've got that part taken care of, so that's awesome.
That's right. Yeah, the people around me, I couldn't do anything without Kylie and, without the team. Wouldn't be able to move, They help me and travel, and they keep my neck on my head, or my head on my neck.
And it's one of those things where they put you in situations that you might not be in yet, that kind of keep you hungry. I mean, you look comfy in that bus right now, Chandler, so they're probably like, hey, let's get him to do the interview on the bus, make him hungry to have his own bus one day. So I see what they're doing. It's creative. I love it.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to keep working my butt off. I will.
I'm really excited to see you in Tortuga. I mean, you, especially what we've talked about today, like Tortuga's right up your alley. I mean, the drinks are going to be flowing, the beach. We're hoping for good weather here in the Sunshine State, but that festival alone, like I said, I'm biased, is my favorite, but you're going to own that stage, and I'm really excited for you.
Thanks, man. Dude, I'm really excited to play that stage, and I will tell you that we are definitely playing Jimmy Buffett that day. So, can we
know what the cover is going to be on the Jimmy Buffett?
We're definitely going to play some Margaritaville, but yeah. I think I'm going to play Changes in Latitudes.
Dude, hell yeah.
It's kind of left field, but if you know it, you know it.
Okay, well, you'll see me in the sand in the back.
Let's go. Yeah.
Doing this, getting the going.
Huge changes in there.
Exactly. Hey, I really appreciate you coming on the show, and this right here is just the beginning, not only for you, but for this show, because the next time we're in town, we've got to get you in the studio, and we'll have a great time. But I'm super pumped for you. I'm proud of you. You're still like in the beginning, and what you've just done is just so cool. And whether it's Ernest finding you, or whether it's asking Post Malone at Steve's bar to go on tour, like everything's working in the right direction for you. And I'm excited to watch you grow, man. I really am.
Thank you, dude. Thank you. I'm excited to keep working my butt off and seeing where it takes us.
Chandler Walters, everybody. I appreciate you, Bubba.
See you soon.
All right, guys, there you have it. Colbie Caillat, Chandler Walters, two of the many performers that are going to be at Tortuga Music Festival coming up soon. How can you not like Tortuga? That's probably my favorite out of all the festivals. Of course, it's in my home state and it's on the beach. How can you beat that duo? As always, I appreciate y'all tuning in every single Wednesday. Well, you go to YouTube, see who's going to be on the Like a Farmer show this week, or wherever you listen to your audio podcasts. As always, continue to like, comment, subscribe, share, do whatever you got to do to be like a farmer.